No, did you not get the email? We canceled this one. What? No, we sent an email last week. No, not capacity. Capacity of time. I'll send you an email.
Want to pull up a chair?
How you doing, bro?
I'm tired, dude. Another meeting just made me
Our
sleepy.
camera is missing from. We used to leave it on this.
Run it? I'm sorry, man. We can buy you a new one.
No, I bought a new one. This was less of an angle. This one's wider.
Oh,
Like that was probably like 68 or 75. So now we can get everyone in.
Oh, good.
So now it's
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started.
Get out of my camera.
Happy April, everybody. Welcome to our April meeting. My name is Leanna Percucci. I am the board chair of the Fullerton Collaborative. We're so pleased to have you with us today. We are going to, if you have one of our meeting agendas, we're going to jump around a little bit. Our mayor is still on the call right at City Hall, and he's on his way over. So I'm going to go down to our member spotlight. Our member spotlight is going to be presented by David DeLeon. He's actually a resident and a board member, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the City of Fullerton Volunteer Park Patrol Program. So we're very excited about this, so I'm going to turn it over to David.
Thank you, everybody. You know, when you retire, all of a sudden you become available to everybody, you know? And City of La Habra, City of La Habra. I was over there across the border. Here's one of my compadres from there. Anyway, prior to me leaving, I was contacted by John Clemens. And John Clemens, I think he's recently retired. And I think he was either the recreation manager or supervisor, I can't remember his title. Known him for years. He contacted me, had heard I was going to retire, and asked me if I'd be willing to help with a volunteer park patrol program. And I said, well, it was before I retired. I said, you know, just let me know what it is. And he did, and I found it kind of fascinating. So for me, you know, as I lived here for 30 years, one thing I benefited by and what kept me here is a trail system. We've got a wonderful trail system here in the city where, you know, it's a gem, but also the parks. And so just like many of you that go on the trails and go on the parks, they're used pretty heavily. And so I saw this as an opportunity to kind of get a little glimpse of what they wanted to do. So I contacted Sergeant Bridges and I said, hey, listen, I'm interested. Can you tell me what you'd like to do? He says, well, we developed a program and we know that we got a vehicle. We know we got a, you know, we want them to wear the Park Patrol to wear uniforms, but we really don't know what we want them to do. What we want to do is want to gather people to come and look and see and assess what the challenges were in the parks. And I found it kind of interesting because normally Park Patrol actually comes out of social services or recreation. Never heard of it coming out of the police. So after meeting with them and going through a process, I understood what they were trying to do. And that is basically, it's a public safety lens. Being able to make sure that the community sees that the parks are being supervised respectfully. There's a tendency when you see law enforcement or you even see officers, volunteer officers who are out there in their uniforms that more look kind of on the way of policing, tends to kind of maybe not give you the kind of image that you really want. You just want people to know that there's not a problem here, we're just here supervising. So as you know, the Park Patrol program was designed to basically make sure that the community sees that the parks are being supervised. What I did not realize, how many parks the city has. I was really surprised, but I figured out, we had 22 in La Habra, we probably have 30. Well, we have 52 that were listed, and there was probably at least 15 that are not listed. And there's parks that are part of the homeowners association. There's trails that are part of the county. And then we have a joint use agreement with the county on a couple of parks. So basically, myself and a gentleman by the name of Steve Sheik, he's actually a mortgage broker here in town, been here for about as many years as I have, he's still working. We were asked if we would kind of put together the program and see and help define what it could be. So basically, what we are doing right now is for 4 hours a week, each one, we both do a shift of 4 hours. We go out and we just drive around the parks. We look for things that are happening in the park, or we look for graffiti that's on the park, or we look for things that need to be repaired. And so those are things that we actually are doing. However, what we are doing is actually serving as ambassadors to the city, because we are constantly being approached by people in the community, asking questions, raising some issues, and they're not always necessarily, ones related to the park. And so really, as I started working at it, because I haven't talked to Steve about this, but as I started working at it, I realized that really the Park Patrol program is there to serve as another conduit to the city, but in a non-threatening setting. And I think that's really critical, because I know that one of the things that I'm very proud of, and Fred Lance knows this because he's seen me do this for years, is that building bridges to the community, building bridges from nonprofit to other nonprofits, building bridges from a business to a faith community, that's essential, because when you bring all those pillars together, you know what you build? You build community. And essentially, that's the one thing that I feel very strongly about, and hence is the reason why I felt the Park Patrol program really fit what I wanted to do. As when I left the city of La Habra and retired, I said, all the things I learned in 36 years of service, working for 3 different cities, I'm gonna now try to apply those skills in the city that I live in. And I felt like that was important to me. We were just in a meeting right now talking about how there are certain elements of what we do that's part of our DNA. That's part of mine. I'm just naturally a parks person. I care about people. I care about the way people talk with each other. I care about the way people interact with each other. And I think that when we look at what this opportunity has given to me, while most will say that I'm doing something of service to the community, I'm actually servicing something that if I don't do something, I would be, not taking advantage of all the skills I've learned in the last 36 years. So you'll see me drive around a little truck, and it says on there Park Patrol, and it says volunteer. And I'll drive up in the parks, and you'll see me sit there, and I stay there for a reason, because I know from past experience is that when you come to a park, or you're in there or in a trailhead, and you make yourself available, not sitting in the car, because that's not my White Castle. It's, I got to get out, walk around, that people are wanting to ask you questions. And sometimes you can see it in their face. They want to ask you a question, but they're afraid to approach you. So you ask them, is there something I can help you with? So for me, in terms of the Park Patrol program and what it has meant to me, is really fulfilling what has been my life commitment, which is serving people. What I hope that the city gets out of it is all the intelligence that we're starting to gather. because we got to keep a log of everything that's happening. I use the word intelligence because I know that's kind of a law enforcement term that's used, but really it's gathering good information that can be used to design a program that's most reflective of the need. And that's the thing is that, you know, for parks and trails, there's no way any one entity can supervise the whole thing. And there's a lot that could happen in there. And I'm gonna give you one good example. Is on the trails, how many of you have walked the trails? Okay, so when you go to the trails, they were, I think, originally horse trails, am I correct? Original horse trails. Then they became walking trails. And then somewhere in the 80s and the 90s, they became mountain bike trails. And guess what you have now? Electric bikes on there. Now that trail is a wide trail, but that's a lot of activity. And for those of you that walk that trail, and I'm guilty of this, I walk with my headsets in. How many times did someone come flying by you? You know, those are the things that we got to kind of look at, and that's part of why I made the commitment, was because those things are concerning me, because I'm of retirement age. I'm still lucky that I can still walk all the trails, but I'm going to continue doing that into hopefully my 80s. And I'm not going to be as aware of my surroundings. So I want to make sure they're safe. I want to make sure that for those of you that are familiar with the bicycle trails, unfortunately, we've had accidents from that. And it's because the bicyclists don't always are not aware of what's around them. And so they run into cars, they run into fences, they run into all sorts of things, or cars don't see them. Unfortunately, where I live, which is Valley View Drive, there was a period for about 3 months where at least 3 people got hit, 2 of which were killed. And so those are the things that I'm concerned about, because I absolutely love these trails. So when we talk about the park ranger program and what it really is, we're still trying to evolve it. I mean, you know, I think I was asked, well, when are you going to be? What are we going to do? I said, listen, this program's so new, the bottom of my shoes aren't even dirty. You know, but now that we've been doing it for about 6 weeks, it has become more and more clear that we still have a lot of work to do. So I can entertain any questions if you have any. I'll try to answer them as best I can. I can tell you that Sergeant Bridges will be recruiting more people to do it. Probably, I think he said we're going to probably work with Steve and I for about 3 months. We're into it 6 weeks now, so that we can kind of settle in on what we're going to be doing and then come up with a more succinct program. Any questions I can answer? Yes.
Will you be patrolling the illegal trail buildings on this? Are you just going to be in the park, or will you also be on the trails?
So we haven't figured. That's a great question, because that's the question I had. So we haven't really figured out how we're going to look at the trails outside of the fact that I walk them every Saturday morning. You'll see me walking them. So I plan to do that as part of my duties on Saturday mornings, and probably add another day in there. But we have to come up with a more you know, viable system that's going to help us, because as you know, the trails, they go to some really deep areas that aren't really accessible. Any other questions? Are you talking up?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for all that information on that new program. Okay, real quick, we're still waiting on our mayor, but he's going to be heading over here very soon. We do have a impromptu new member spotlight. Eddie, did you want to, is now okay for you to come up and say a couple of things, Eddie? Yeah? So Eddie, this is Eddie Bersiga. He's a family and youth development specialist for Higher Ground. I got the extreme pleasure to work with Eddie through the city of Fullerton for many years, especially our Boulder program that we had. We did so much work together. He's an amazing soul, an amazing service person. So we just love to have him back as our part of our collaborative as this group is doing new work in Fullerton.
Thank you. One of the things that I want to say is that working for the community and reaching out to families is what we do. And here I want to keep doing what I was doing before I left. So that's why we're back with the nonprofit. I thought that I wasn't gonna keep working, but fortunately I did. And we're back serving the community here in Fullerton. We are at the Woodcrest and we are at Raymond, and we're training more staff to come and help in any other ways. One of the key programs that I know, we have over 100 and something teens and kids every day in our program. Here we have about 160 or so, and Monday to Friday. But the one program that many people really don't know about is our human trafficking curriculum that we offer in the junior highs and the high schools throughout the county and throughout the junior highs and high schools in Anaheim. And we just want to go ahead and let you know that anything that we can do for Fullerton, and I'm looking at Joe, because we're ready to do it. So whatever it is, and whatever we can do, we're 100% ready to do it. Thank you.
So if you're interested in the types of programming that Eddie has to offer for family and youth, please see him after the meeting. That would be amazing. So as we're gonna keep moving through our agenda so we could spend the last half of our meeting on our state of the city from the mayor, our state of community. So I'm gonna go ahead and move into our subcommittee reports. I know I'm catching you off guard if you're part of the subcommittees. We can start, is anybody ready? Bev, can you do next gen?
I can. Can I do it from back here?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think
I think you need to up front.
oh.
Watch my
We have the camera right here.
Don't look at that, tell me, I hate cameras.
That's a lie.
I hate microphones. I don't like speaking in front of people at all. Next Gen, I'm here to just represent Next Gen. We are meeting on Thursday at noon virtually. What we're hoping to do is take a look at where we have been and where we want to go. It's a time for reevaluating kind of just the plans that we need to make and where our focus needs to be. So for those of you that serve youth in this area or this community and would like to speak on that and have your voices heard and have your opinions, this is a great time to do that because now is when we're going to come up with our plans for the next year. So that's what we're doing. Next Gen on the 13th at noon.
Perfect. Thank you, Bev. Jason, come on up for homeless time.
We will not be meeting this month, but next month we'll be meeting again. And again, our three main focuses we decided on was education, advocacy, and I'm blanking out. We need Lisa here to correct me all the time. But we're going to be working on advocacy next week and really trying to come up with a framework that we can bring to the board to say, hey, these are the things that we've decided are important for us to advocate for so that we can have kind of the full weight of the collaborative behind that. So as we're discerning new things, what that will be.
So your next meeting will be
Next month.
next month.
Do you want the day?
Well,
It's on a Wednesday.
May.
James, do you know?
Look at the calendar.
I could look at my calendar
I
too.
apologize from March.
Little typo.
May 17th.
May
May
17th.
That's enough.
Yeah, just take
Take off March.
March
make a
17th.
Y right there.
Thank you, James.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Jason. Next we have Daniela and Helene from the Fullerton School District.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So we're just sharing with you some updates. We put flyers on the front table. One is for our preschool program registration for children 3 to 5 at the Fullerton School District, part day and full day. We greatly appreciate your help in outreaching to community out there because nobody knows, not everybody knows about our wonderful programs we have at the Fullerton School District. And the other is an event that we are hosting at the Orange Torp Elementary site with one of our partners in preschool, which is the Priority Center, for the month awareness month in May, and it's gonna be held on Saturday, May 6th, from 12 to 2. There's a lot of activities like DJs, face painting, photo booth, and crafts. But mainly the Priority Center and other partners are gonna present and be there to show what resources they have to offer to the community. Everybody's invited. There's a registration link here. So please attend, and you're gonna find the flyer over there in English and Spanish. Please take as much as you need it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you. Put a round of applause together for that. And then Peter is sick today for health and wellness. You have, Debbie's got it? Debbie's got it. All right.
She's gonna be healthy, stay home. Yeah. So we are excited. We want to invite anyone that would be interested in promoting and supporting health and wellness in our city. So our next meeting is virtual on April 26th. It's a Wednesday. It is at 12:30, a little bit different time than in the past, a little bit later. And our focus is really looking at the priorities of health and wellness, focusing on community events, what can we do to get the city and residents active, both young adults, all the way children, all the way to older adults. So our next meeting on the 26th will be discussing adolescent and also older adult activity and health and wellness. So we invite you to join us.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Health and wellness. Well, Jay, I was going to make an announcement about Love Fullerton. Did you want to say anything? Or do you want me to just take it?
Go for it.
I got it. So Love Fullerton, if you're not involved yet, Love Fullerton is an amazing, amazing citywide event. It is going to be on Saturday, April 22nd. It starts at the Fullerton College Quad with a kickoff ceremony. And then all the volunteers disperse throughout the community to do their volunteer projects. And then they come back to the quad for a free lunch. Now, how many are we at, Jay? You said 2,500 last week. Where are we?
That'll be where we anticipate.
About 2,500 volunteers. So think about 2,500 volunteers, could be more between now and then registering, all in one spot, and you have access to them. And these are people that are volunteer minded. We are offering free resource booths for that lunch portion from 12 to 2 on Saturday. The only thing you have to do is provide 100 free snacks. Those could be little fruit snack pouches, granola bars, little like trail mix pouches. And this is an amazing way to engage with residents in our community that are service minded. And so last year, I'll never forget what's the young man that works for the library? I always forget his name. Jason said that was the most, out of any of like the resource fairs that they've had a booth at, the most interaction that they had with participants, and got a lot of like names and phone numbers and people that wanted to be more involved in the library. So the deadline for registration was this past Saturday. We're extending it. So there's the QR code, so you can register to be a part of this event. Like I said, there's no fee except bringing those 100 snacks to help feed all the volunteers. And that's also a way to drive them to your tables, because I'll be emceeing the event and saying, go visit all the tables. They have extra snacks to share with you. And then that gives you a chance to engage with all these residents that are volunteer minded and ready to work and serve in their community. So Love Fullerton, April 22nd. Is that good, Jay?
That was perfect.
All right, good.
Would you like a raffle basket?
We would love a raffle basket. Yes. Thank you. Creighton's going to be a raffle basket?
And does anyone else, would you like it?
Yes.
On the sign up, it says.
On the sign up, we do ask, it's not mandatory, but we do ask for you to donate raffles. This could be literally like a couple like mugs and pens or a t-shirt from your organization. It's just another way for us to promote your organizations, because I'm going to be on the microphone and I'll just say your name of your organization over and over again during the raffle. You know, and anything we can do to support you to get your name out there. This is one of these opportunities where being a member of the Fullerton Collaborative has a perk. So we really want you to take advantage of that membership and use that opportunity to have a free table. Okay? Thank you, Bella, for that reminder. Appreciate it. Okay, is he here yet? No? Not yet? Okay, so while we wait, we're gonna go ahead and move to the last item of our agenda, and then we'll move back up to our state of the community. Is there any member announcements? Any member announcements? And if you don't have an announcement to make today or you forget, always email Debbie your announcements. She'll send them out in the email, okay? On what's happening in Fullerton, and we'll make sure those are pushed out to the community. But in the meantime, I could bring the microphone around for any member announcements.
Hello everyone, my name is Rosario. I'm an outreach coordinator for Hope Builders. For those of you that may not know us, we provide free career training and career placement for individuals ages 18 to 28. And right now we have classes beginning, all 3 classes beginning in May. So our medical assisting, child development, and our construction classes are all beginning the 1st and 2nd weeks of May. And we still have spots available, so we're having a last call information session and same-day admissions for anyone interested in applying. So that's going to be on Tuesday, April 25th at 12 p.m. in our Anaheim location. I did leave some flyers up front, and then if anyone has any questions, then feel free to let me know. That's it. Thank you.
This is my once a month Monday exercise. Member announcements, I love it.
My name is Walt Roundtree, and I'm on the board of 2 nonprofits. The Parent Voice USA is sponsoring an essay contest for any 8th grader in the Fullerton School District. And there's a couple of topics that they can submit the 250-word to 500-word essay on. And we also want to know who is it that's a hero to them. That's one of the essays questions that they have. Another question is, how can my school be improved? And so they're going to have a chance to win money towards their future scholarship or whatever. Also, the Fullerton Lions Club, we sponsor actually 3 Leo clubs here in Fullerton. One's an orchestra, a youth orchestra, one's at Sunny Hills High School, and the other's at Troy High School. And the Troy High School Leos helped out at the Discovery Cube this weekend because all the elementary school kids are out of school and they have Bubble Fest, and they needed extra youngsters to help to keep those youngsters that are younger than them in lines. And so that's just one of the many things that our Leos do in the community.
Beautiful, thank you. Very nice. Any other announcements? Oh, over here, here we go.
Hi everybody, my name is Nicole Johnston and I am here with Fristers. So kind of an exciting announcement. Fristers has started these pop-ups that are going to be in different cities every month. And this month we're coming to Fullerton. So Fristers is going to be at La Vista High School in Fullerton on April 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's going to be an event for young mothers ages 13 to 25 to come learn about Fristers and the different services we provide and ways that we can help them. We're also going to have childcare for their children, and the preschool age kids will get a fun little kit to take home with some kindergarten readiness materials that they can work on at home with their parents. Dinner is provided. It's a totally free event. So if you know any young moms pregnant or parenting in that 13 to 25 age range, please share with them. I left some flyers for the event on the table back there. And then we are looking just for about a handful of volunteers. So if anyone's interested maybe in volunteering, I'd love to chat with you afterwards. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Maria Jones, and I'm actually the chaplain with the Leon Owens Foundation, Fullerton. And we've been here for quite a while, and this is my first time here. Shirley Owens, our president, was always here and supported this, and we lost her in December of last year. But you'll see my face. I just live right on Euclid, and I always say I'm coming and something happens, but I'm really committed to coming and just with the foundation. We have several things going on. I didn't know what to do, so I didn't bring any literature, but I'll make sure for the next meetings that I have. The one thing is we do have a golf tournament every year, and that is going to be the first Monday in June. It's June 5th at the Alta Vista Country Club, and we have now we're 30 years and we've given almost 600 scholarships to students. And it's not just students, it's anyone that's in school. So if it's a person that's an adult, they've gone back to school, they still can apply, and that application process is still going on right now. Thank you.
Here we go. Let's do quick. Hi, my name's Jane, and I'm here with the Women's Club of Fullerton, and we're doing our annual Bunko Boogie fundraiser for a charity of the year, which is Tara's Chance. So it'll be in this room, and it'll be a big party from 10:30 to 2, chance to win prizes and have lots of fun.
I think you guys have a gift card to pick up for me at Matador too.
Oh,
yeah. Don't forget to pick that up.
Hi everyone, my name is Viviana Sosa. I represent Higher Ground Family Youth Services. And so we have an event coming up April 22nd. It's our Family Health Day from 11 to 2 p.m. at Lincoln Park in Anaheim. So we'll be promoting free vision, hearing, dental, as well as we're going to be having glasses made for free within 30 minutes on the spot. If you have any collaboratives that want to join us or family members within the community that want to head over to Lincoln Park, will be there. This is a great way to get to know who we are as an organization, as well as we're heading into Fullerton pretty soon. So we'll be having similar events in Fullerton Parks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Arnel Dino. County Commissioner, currently on the Boys and Girls Club Board. I just kind of wanted to put out there that David and I and a couple others are pursuing the idea of creating a Fullerton Community Foundation. So if you do want to know more, you can talk to me afterwards. But we're trying to go through all the paperwork, trying to see if the city is open to the idea. We've talked to the mayor, we've talked to a couple other folks, and our city manager, Eric, and we're trying to see if that is an idea that's worth pursuing to try to help find funding, help bring back some of the ideas like First Night, like 4th of July, that definitely do need funding. So if you've got some ideas and want to help out, please definitely see me or David afterwards. Thank you.
Perfect.
Last call for announcements. Oh, I knew there'd be another one. Here we go.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Jessica Gonzalez, and I'm with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I think this is my second collaborative here. So what we do is we provide mentorship to children 6 to 24. So we know 1 in 3 children do not have a mentor, which we know kind of leads to further things down the road. So our program is free of charge. We do one-on-one mentoring, meaning if I am a child that's going to be in our program and I am into like technology, I would more than likely not be paired with somebody that isn't their thing. Like me, I turn things on and off, and that's how I fix it. So we would not be a good match. So we really have that intentional matching. I left some flyers over there, but if you have any maybe children who you think would benefit from a mentor, or even if you want to be a mentor, please feel free to reach out to me after.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, while we wait for the mayor, he should be here any second now. I just wanted to let you know that we do have these cards, index cards on your table. If you need more, you could go back to the check-in table. These are for questions, okay? We're not gonna open the floor for like, just open the mic, but we'll read off the questions that you have. So please, 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 if you have any questions for the mayor, use these cards and we'll be coming around and collecting those towards the end of his presentation. Also, if you're online, they can enter questions in the chat. Yes, if you're online on Facebook, you can enter questions in the chat. And then on YouTube, and then we can field those there. So. Okay. Hold on. Oh, interpretive dance, yeah. That's maybe be a dance teacher again on the spot, right? We always have that one. We do know we were over there at City Hall supposed to meet with him, and he was on a very, very important call. So I do understand that that's what the problem is. So at this time, what we're gonna do, just on the fly, kill time, we don't wanna waste this time that we have together. If you don't have any questions at this time, like if you could turn to a neighbor and think of some talking points about concerns of our city or things we feel like need to be the focus of our city council in the next year, anything that you think might come up, we just take this opportunity to talk and network with the person next to you so we can make the most out of this next 30 minutes. So, thank you.
Good morning. I want to welcome everyone to the State of the City. I think it's great that everyone's here. It's an exciting new year. My name's Eric Levitt. I'm the city manager for the city of Fullerton, ending my first year here as city manager. And I think exciting times are ahead for the city of Fullerton and for the Fullerton community. Today's theme is Crossroads of Opportunity, and I think it's a great theme that the mayor has chosen. The city council is energized moving forward. And the Crossroads of Opportunity, what does that mean? What does that mean for everyone? It means that we're looking at how education, business opportunities, and quality of life all cross together to make a great community and a great community experience that invites new businesses, welcomes those existing businesses, and welcomes all residents that are part of the community.
What you want in any type of government is fresh perspectives, folks that are excited about change, excited about making a difference.
We're very excited to have a new city manager with Eric Levitt. He's got a lot of experience, and he's somebody that we were excited to welcome on board. He's made some hires for his key personnel with community development, and these are important resources to our community that'll help us continue to grow.
My goals are to enhance our policies, programs, and initiatives by ensuring that the quality of life for the residents of Fullerton is sustainable. It's through housing, economic development, code enforcement, building and safety, and planning.
I have been with the city a little bit over a year. Was looking for more meaningful work, so I decided to join local government.
A lot of people that I work with are very talented, and they are smart employees who really care about Fullerton because there's some sort of connection that brings them back personally to the city.
I'm a resident of Fullerton, just over 10 years now. I felt like I could make a difference in my own town. My kids go to school, I shop, eat, and play. So I decided to make the jump to the public sector, see what I could do to help the city. I've always wanted to work in the city that I grew up in, and an opportunity came up where a public works position came up, and I thought that was a perfect opportunity and to get my foot in the door. Well, we get to deal with construction from preliminary design phase all the way to final completion. So we have definitely influence from start to finish, and you can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it, and it does affect and improve the community.
From a city planner standpoint, one of the favorite things of working here is the city's diverse in the way it's formed in its built environment. It has a historic downtown. You have some great historic neighborhoods, some newer neighborhoods, and a lot of industrial and commercial base as well. So definitely keeps me engaged.
We're very proud to be here and to serve the public.
It's a team effort, right? Not any single department could do it by themselves. So everyone's got to collaborate, work together as a single unit in order to achieve that dream that we're talking about.
One of the things that I have really enjoyed about working here is that people have always been willing to help. People will give you the resources that you ask for, and there has been a lot of learning and opportunity in the city.
So everything is in-house trained. So we just learned from as soon as I got promoted to equipment operator, the equipment operator would just train everybody, and we would just learn hands-on. Right now we have a pretty solid team for us to get to where we want to be, and that's to have a really improved, sustainable community.
A few months ago, I completed a city.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Sponsored leadership.
You're not in the.
I know.
We did that to you last year.
Okay, welcome, Mayor Fred Jung, everybody. Mayor Fred Jung was elected to serve a 4-year term representing Council District 1 on Fullerton City Council in November 2020. Mayor Young is the first Asian American Fullerton City Council member in over 20 years. The term expires in 2024. Prior to joining council, Mayor Young served on the Parks and Recreation Commission and Traffic and Circulation Commission. Born in Seoul, South Korea, Young came to the United States at the age of 5. Young has lived in Fullerton District 1 since 1987. He attended Sunny Hills High School and has volunteered as a Sunny Hills High School football coach for many years, and he also attended the University of Southern California. Mayor Young has owned many successful small businesses. He also went on to found one of North Orange County's largest youth sports nonprofit organizations. He started the Jazz magazine, All About Jazz Los Angeles, All About Jazz Chicago, All About Jazz San Francisco, and Jazz Weekly. He also served on the board of directors of the Jazz Journalists Association. Mayor Young serves as the chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee to the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District, chairman to the Orange County Power Authority, chairman of the Legislative Regulatory and Communications Committee to the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. I think that's who had you on the phone, right?
They did.
Yes, that's who had you on the phone. Vice chairman of Transit Committee to the Orange County Transportation Authority Board of Directors representing the 4th Supervisorial District, and serves on the SCAG Policy Committee for Orange County Council of Governments. Without any further ado, Mayor Fred Jung.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to apologize sincerely for not being here in a timely manner. You'll have to forgive me. There was legislation that the state legislators are crafting right now for non-functional turf watering that our staff vehemently opposes. So I had to chair this meeting and make sure that our views were coming across, and the amendments that we wanted were included in that bill, and I think that's where we're going. So good news, your water rates are not going to change as a result, at least not now. So anyhow, I'm sorry. I suppose there are things that you have to weigh when you're in government, but it was very important for me to be here, so I rushed out of that meeting and had someone else continue it. I just had to get through this discussion, and that took an hour and a half. So, it was quite a lengthy, robust discussion. So, rather than drone on and on about myself, quite frankly, the introduction that was given was superb. I can't do any better than that, so I won't. I just want to take questions from you. Anything that you may want to be asking me about personally with regards to our city, feel free to do so. I'm here to answer these questions. I think that's a better way for our time to be exercised than be just thrown out.
We had our members
Yes.
do questions
Awesome.
on the card,
That's
so
great.
we'll just keep giving them to you
Please.
as they come in.
Awesome.
Okay? You can read the question out loud.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the first one. Is how do you envision affordable housing in Fullerton? I think the state is at a point right now, based on other municipalities, not Fullerton, to make sure affordable housing is the local control of municipalities being able to zone the way they would like. I think the state is slowly stepping in and saying, this is important for our state, it's important for residents in the state to be able to live here. So we are, as a municipality here in Fullerton, just trying to adjust to that from a staffing level, but more important than that, to make sure that we make it a cultural priority for our city as a whole. So I think we are prioritizing it. I think we're moving in that direction, but the state is moving way faster than we are at this point. The next question was how much of the budget is going towards affordable housing? Currently, right now, there are federal grant monies that we may utilize if we have in the past, but in terms of our general fund, there are $0 going towards affordable housing. What is the current fiscal deficit the city is facing? Two things the city is facing that I think is important that you recognize and that it's important that I prioritize. First thing is staff, retention and recruitment. There are widely reported, and rightfully so, increases that we gave public safety in the last year. and they were a long time coming. As all of you are Fullerton residents, there has been a desert for many years. If I could just refer to one employee group, they didn't get a raise for 7 years, got a small one, and then not another one for another 3. So if you had accounted for that 10-year desert, that they didn't get anything, I wouldn't have to make these decisions. But it turns out that's what happened. And right now we are well-deserved, just like our roads, at the bottom of the county in terms of what we compensate and how we compensate our employees. So that's the question right now, concern number one. We have to get this to the meeting middle. You know, I don't think we need to be Irvine and be number one at everything, but we should be able to compete with everybody else and be in the middle. I think that's what we're going to right now. Certainly judging by what we've given our public safety, I think you can see that kind of conscious effort being placed and being carried out by this council. Secondly, it's what every municipality is dealing with right now. And it's the unfunded pension liabilities that CalPERS presents. And you know, if they had originally given numbers that made sense and that were achievable, we wouldn't be in this situation. But because they keep falling short, we are having to put more and more of our general fund dollars to these unfunded pension liabilities. So, you know, promises made, promises kept, very important, but it's these unfunded that every municipality is having challenges with, not just ours. How will the new business, Samsung, et cetera, coming to Fullerton help close that, I'm assuming, the budget deficit? New business, new income, economic development is one of many resources that we need to make sure that we have a robust budget. So anything new that revitalizes the city, including you and your neighbors remodeling your home, you know, buying homes in Fullerton and coming and having it at market rate, to businesses coming in, for you going to the grocery store, all of those are ample and important facets to our revenue building. What are your future plans for getting us on the track financially? I am, by virtue of being the mayor, probably the tasked with spokesperson for the city. And I have to tell you, I advocate for this city as if I will die here, and I will. So I advocate for it very strongly. I don't ever, when I'm out in public, speak about negative impacts to the city. I just don't find that it's robust to the discussion. I'm not ignoring them, because I recognize the issues that I have. And I recognize the issues the city has. And I recognize the issues we all face. Our roads are not great. Our infrastructure is old. I understand all of these things. I'm not tone deaf to them. But I do find that if I'm going to sell our city to make sure that folks want to live here, I have to focus on the positive stuff. And I choose to do that. So I focus on the positive, not the negative. And I constantly try to do my best to represent the city accordingly. Probably I could do a much better job, but in terms of being outside, when I'm at these larger meetings, when I'm meeting with Chamber of Commerce's, when I'm meeting with other organizations at a regional, I'm always promoting the benefits of living here, how awesome it is to be here, and why I've lived here for 35 plus years. Will the city really have the nerve to have Mario Mirovic take down the encroachment at Harbor Commonwealth as he's agreed? Well, he did contractually agree to it, so I'm not sure the nerve is the issue. He agreed to it. He wouldn't agree to it as a good business person if it didn't meet his financial and moral obligation to the community. So I'm not sure it's a nerve, but I'm fairly certain he has agreed to it. So we are moving forward in that capacity. Any other questions? Because that seems to be the end. Raise your hand.
There's someone here.
Oh, awesome. Homeless Fullerton, Euclid area, Valencia to Orange Star Motel next to Subaru. What is city doing? Okay. All right. That's a lot to unpack. Let me address that individually. So the homeless question. We are right now currently, with the help of our Assemblywoman, negotiating to purchase property that the current navigation center is at. And as a result of that negotiation, we have a possibility now to offer 40 beds. We already have 20 now. So 40, and we may even add the additional 20. That could be 40 to 60 beds for the next 10 years. And why is that important? Well, the chief, the Hope Center, our homeless liaison officers, they need to have an option that's presentable, that's fair, that's compassionate for the folks that are unhoused. And I think this is a game changer for the city. I think this will open a lot of doors that were not open before and allow us to try and wrap our arms around this issue before it becomes even bigger. And we're now dealing with it on a scale that Los Angeles is dealing with. Now, I'm not equating Fullerton to Los Angeles, but if you've been to LA lately, I think you understand what I'm talking about. We are just trying to do this in a compassionate manner. In terms of homeless areas, encampments, or anything of that nature, they're very expensive to clean up for obvious reasons. But we're trying to do about one a month, and we budgeted that out accordingly. Motel next to the Subaru dealership, that's been a problem issue for the city for quite some time, but I have an understanding that they are not willing to sell, and you can't force someone to do so. So we have some other options. Project Home Key has opened up with some funding, and I think we've got maybe one location that would qualify for that in the city, and we're going to try to advocate and get that funding because we've never gotten it before. So hopefully that will be yet another tool in our tool belt to kind of stem the tide on some of this stuff and be compassionate. Any other questions, folks?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, of course.
I don't know if you can hear me, but the other day I was coming back from a vision screening with the Lions Club in Santa Ana, and it was getting done, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was getting dark about 5:30 or 6. And on the bus coming back, there were at least 9, 10, 11, 12 people coming to Fullerton because we have a place where they can have a warm shelter at night. It was back when it was raining almost every day and it was cold at night. And so I want to thank the city for deciding that they could spend our money to keep those people from an early death. Because that's what would have happened if they kept on sleeping on the street in that weather.
Well, thank you, sir. I just want to clarify, it wasn't our money, it's the county's money. We just agreed to allow them to operate that cold weather shelter in our city. And they had a security fence around the location. They bussed literally folks in and out of that location. And I'm disappointed that they didn't fund it through April. I had some misunderstanding that they had, but apparently they did not. So it ended, that program ended in March, and now they're doing improvements to the park and the facility. Any other questions? Thank you for that comment. Thank you for pointing that out. Any other questions? Folks, you must have something.
I have something.
Sure, of course, please.
On behalf of our Fullerton Collaborative Board and membership, I would like to hear from you ways that you think we could help the city for us to work together to improve Fullerton.
That's great. So volunteerism, I think, is the cornerstone of what makes the American experience so special. As a volunteer, myself, I am extraordinarily grateful for all the work that all of you do. It is so much easier from every level to put fences around our home, stay within the confines of what we know, and not reach out to our fellow man and women to help them. And the fact that all of you have taken such a keen interest in our community to be able to volunteer time, come out and hear me talk, which I don't even like hearing me talk. So, I'm terribly grateful. But everything good in the American experience happens at a grassroots level. It doesn't happen through folks like me. It always happens through folks like yourself. So those in the community that are watching this live feed or having to catch it on YouTube later, please volunteer. Whatever you are interested in, whatever makes your life fulfilling in some manner, get that energy and transfer it to somebody else and allow those folks that really could utilize your help to have it. No matter if we were the wealthiest community in the country, we'd still have challenges. And I would look to all of you to help solve those. And we're not the wealthiest community in the country, so we have our share. But we are slowly checking those off because of volunteers like yourselves and the events that you are able to do and participate in. It's just your rallying cry only serves to motivate me, and hopefully it does my colleagues as well. So that's a great question. Thank you. Anyone else?
Right there?
Yes, yes, please.
Some of us here are volunteers or we work for the library. What is your opinion of keeping what I think is part of our community pride is having our own city-owned library and with the hunt? What is your opinion on those two facilities?
Two things, all right. So the library component is, I'm a big proponent of reading. So the fact that the library is here and it serves so many different purposes right now, not just in terms of readership in our community, but also it serves as a gathering place for some that need it. We have to kind of envision what the modern library looks like. And I think, Director Booth has done a really good job along with our board of trustees at the library to modernize our library and make sure that we're keeping up with the times. So I value the library very much so. In terms of the Hunt Library, what I envision for that is the public to be able to utilize that and for programs to be there. But the fact is it costs money. And right now the city does not have the capacity and hasn't had for the last 10 years, the capacity to fund that portion. So where do we go to next? What happens now? Well, the ad hoc committee met and made they'll bring forth a recommendation that we'll receive. What I thought was finding someone that can have some sort of service there in whatever capacity, whether it's in that building or offside of that building, where they can fund that building and the maintenance of it, the programming of it. But again, all of these things require a lot of time, a lot of community input. But it's been 10 years since anything meaningful has happened at that location. I don't foresee it to be another 10, but I think we have to be very mindful about what we want and what we can afford and what we need in terms of partnerships, public-private, to be able to continue that facility. Yes?
If I can ask another question.
Yes.
What is your opinion on, because this has been in the news here in Fullerton, of handing our library over to the county?
Well, the county does some things very well, and the county does some things that not so great. So depending on how much I like the library and I happen to value it, handing it all over to the county to me is really not an option I consider. Because what if it's not so great? Then I'd rather have local control over it like we did with our fire department and be able to take it and still call it Fullerton Fire and still be able to bring up all these boats by raising the tide. Any other questions? Thank you for that follow-up. Yes?
Wait, why doesn't the city have money?
Where do I begin? Okay, so, all right, let me be as concise and as frank as I can be here. The city that you live in and care for is one of the 3 oldest in the county. In fact, I would argue it's the oldest, but apparently it's 3rd by our founding date. As a result, all the streets, or most of them in the city, excuse me. Most of the sidewalks, most of the street lights, all of the water pipes, or all the street, or all the city, excuse me. Unlike the good fortune that South County cities have that are newer and have the benefit of Melrose and HOAs, so they only handle these large, major, super roads that they have throughout their community. We have the ones right outside your home, for the most part. So it's a lot. It's a lot of burden placed on a city that at one time was one of the largest in the county. And right now we sit about, I think we're eighth or ninth right now. We're still in the top 10, but we still need to build adequate housing to make sure more people can live here. We still need to improve our public safety. We still need to improve our staffing levels. All of these things we have to do. But in terms of your ask, in terms of why we don't have funding, we just have things that cost more that other cities may not, probably don't have. We don't have a theme park. We don't have a gigantic mall like Brea may have, or Santa Ana with South Coast Plaza. We don't have that stuff. So we have to be inventive. We have to be mindful of the people's dollar, and we have to make sure that we're constantly promoting the city, which I'm doing right now. Any other questions? That's a great question. All right, folks. Again, you have my sincerest apology. I am here. I am happy to give every single one of you my business card, and you can contact me personally. I pride myself on answering every call if I can, returning it at the very least, and meeting with you if you require that. All right. So again, I'm terribly grateful. Thank you. I'm extraordinarily sorry that I was late. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mayor Jung, for coming out today. We really appreciate it. Again, if you have questions for him, he's here to, we have the room until 4, so if you want to keep networking with each other too, we encourage you. If not, we will see you in May, the second Monday of May, same place, same time, for our next community meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.